Hello to all my yummy drummies out there, it's Rob Litton here from drumstheword.com and welcome to this free full video song lesson where today I'm going to show you how to play the song Good For You by Olivia Rodrigo. And as always, I've got the full PDF drum chart for you for free, which you can download from my website. You'll find a link beneath this video, all 3 pages of the song fully transcribed. And I recommend you have these printed out in front of you as we go through this together. It's going to make things a lot easier for you to understand. This song was suggested over on my YouTube channel. A couple of weeks ago on the community tab, I asked for your song requests. You then typed them in the comments and then voted or liked certain songs, and the most likes got chosen for a lesson. I think I did Dive last week. This week I'm doing this song for you, and I'll be doing a couple more. There's a couple of 7-minute epics on there that I want to try and do for you as well. So, but if you want to make your own song suggestions, then please go over there to do so, or my Facebook page as well. You'll find the same post. Now, the first thing I want to say about this is there's no live drummer on this recording. It was all programmed and sampled. So I looked at the credits for the song, and there's like 2 or 3 different drum engineers and programmers recording for this. So I've written here at the top, the drum parts were programmed and involved various effects and sounds. This is my interpretation of trying to replicate the drum parts on the recording as closely as possible. So what I mean by that is there are certain things that you're hearing on the recording that one drummer couldn't play or couldn't replicate with an acoustic drum kit. And so I had to sort of work out what parts of the recording I wanted to replicate on the drum kit for you guys. And you might find there are certain parts that you want to add in on top of that or take away even. And also when you watch her play it live, I watched one performance and the drummer at the back is actually playing different parts to the recording. The bass drum's sort of following, but there's certain sections where he plays his own part over the top. So there's lots of different ways you can interpret an electronic drum part like this, and this is my interpretation. So the song starts and the drums come in at 26 seconds. The first part that I want to replicate, and we get this repeating snare drum idea. 16th notes on the drum, on the snare drum. The tempo is 166 BPM, so it's going by really fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each of those beats we're going to play 4 16th notes. 1 E, 2, 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3, 4. And over that length of the bar, we can see the crescendo underneath it. We're getting louder from quiet to loud. And the tricky part here, and you could actually end the snare drum roll on beat 1 of the next bar, but on the recording that's not what happens. They end it just before beat 1 on the of beat 4. So your left hand is actually the last snare drum note you play. One, 2, 3, 4. That left hand there is actually the last snare drum note you play. You could play we're ending it on the snare drum on beat 1, but that's not what we're hearing on the recording. So it's up to you how you want to play that. Playing it ending on the is actually a little bit trickier, in my opinion, than ending it on the beat 1 with your right hand. So then we go into the second bar and we come in with 1, 2, 3 and 4. So straight away, little 2-beat break, 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1. Then we're into our first chorus. So that intro, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then we're into our first groove. And what we got here is a 4-bar drum pattern for the chorus. It gets looped. Really it's a 2-bar bass drum pattern, but we get these extra hi-hat effects and snare drum fills at the end of each line. So the first 2 bars with the crash cymbal on beat 1 as well. By the way, on the recording it's a closed hi-hat sound. I noticed when he plays it live, it's an open hi-hat, which gives it a bit more energy. So if you're playing this live, you might want to do that. But on the recording, like I said, I'm trying to replicate the recording. It's a closed hi-hat. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. Then into the second bar, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and it loops back to beat 1. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 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 1, 2, 3 and 1. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. That's our basic 2-bar pattern for the choruses. Bars 3 and 4 play the same thing, but over the top of it we get an electronic hi-hat effect being played at the very last bar. We get 1, 2, 3 and 4 and a 1. And 1, 16th notes. So right, left, right, leading into beat 1 of the next line, and 1. So bars 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and a 1, and 1. So we get and 1 still underneath on the bass drum. So that first line briefly, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 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 1. The next line is identical without the crash cymbal on beat 1 of the first bar. But bar 4, we get this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You could play and 4. You don't have to worry about playing the hi-hat on beat 4, but on the recording you can hear it, so I included it. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and a 1. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and a 1. Left, left, right, left crash into a crash on the next line. So bars 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and a 1. I'll play this up to speed for you in a moment. Then we get lines 3 and 4, which are identical to lines 1 and 2. Bar 4 on line 3 ends with the hi-hat, and then we get the dat-dat-ba-ba drum fill at the end of the last line. But notice we don't go into a crash. This is a repeating idea throughout this song. We're ending on the last 16th note of the bar, so we get 1, 2, 3, and 4, and a. He doesn't play and a 1 or and a 1 as he does in the later bridge. It's just and a on the upbeat, or the programmed drums, Doug. I've got to say, stop saying he, it's programmed. So bridge 1, we get 2 bars of rest, and then we get this drum fill occurring, the snare drum build up again, but this time over 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it ends again on the of beat 4, but when we go into verse 1, this is the trickiest part for me to sort of transcribe, or to decide what to transcribe, because we get this sort of synth bass drum effect occurring on 1 and 2 and 3 and. Also we got the bass guitar. So the first bar there is replicating that synth bass effect. So 1 and 2 and 3 and. Leading up to it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and. By the way, before we go on, let me just play this up to speed for you. What I'll do is I'll go back, I'll play the intro and all 4 bars of chorus 1 up to speed, then we'll continue with bridge 1 and verse 1 after that. Here we go. Okay, so back to verse 1. As I said, that the bass drum is following the bass synth. And then we get a very definite, obvious hi-hat and snare drum part. The bass drum is actually a little bit more hidden. The bass guitar is playing more notes than the bass drum is doing. Certain bass guitar notes, you can hear the bass drum coming down. So I could have replicated every single bass guitar hit, which is probably what I would do live. But again, I'm doing the recording. And so you can actually hear where the bass drums are, and they're very sparse. You get a lot of bass guitar, but the bass drum is actually quite sparse. So for the first bar, we get this 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3. And you can see it's building up in volume. Chat. We get 1 and 2 and 3. So building up those 3 hi-hat notes, followed by a sharp open hi-hat on the and a 2, with the snare drum backbeat on beat 3. It's like a half-time drum beat now, where the snare drum backbeat falls on beat 3. Then into the third bar, we get our next bass drum, 1 and 2 and 3. So 1 and 2 and 3. Again, same idea as bar 2, but no open hi-hat. But the bass drum follows straight afterwards on the and a 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Bar 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Simple as that. No bass drum. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Then into the next line, we get 1, 2 and 3. So not and 2 and, it's just 2 and 3 now. Note for note. 1, 2 and 3 and. That bass drum falling straight afterwards on the and a 3 again. Bar 2, we get an extra little bass drum push on beat 2. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. And then bars 3 and 4, we just simply play 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. And that last snare drum note there is actually like a weird effect, but I thought I'd include it as a snare drum part. 3 and 4 and. This on its own there. 3 and 4 and. So that's probably the hardest part of the song here to sort of play in time and make it groove and sound nice, because there's lots of space in between what you're playing, and it's easy to drag or speed up in these parts where you're not playing a constant time with your right hand or something like that. So let me just play those two lines for you slowly, then I'll play up to speed for you later on. We get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 4 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 and 4 and. So then we go on to the next part, verse 1 continued, where we do get the hi-hat coming back in with a steady quarter note. A little bit easier to play this part. So we get 1 2 3 and 4, bar 2, 1 2 and 3 4 2 and 3 4. Again, notice I'm not playing the hi-hat with those snare drum notes. You could if you wanted to, but it's the hi-hat foot stepping that gives that effect of the hi-hat falling with the snare drum. It also allows you to play those hi-hat accent, those open hi-hat notes as an accent for whatever reason. It's like you can just end it with that loud note on the open notes. 1 2 and 3. Just makes it easier to make those hi-hat notes pop, I find, the open hi-hat notes. Bar 3, same as bar 1. Bar 4 is the same as bar 2, so it's a 2-bar pattern being repeated. Then the next line we get 1 2 and 3 and, so the hi-hat part's changing now. 1 2 and 3 and 4. Same for bar 1, but no bass drum on beat 1, just beat 2. 1 2 and 3 4. And then this is an interpretation. There's a lot going on in this part, but you can sort of hear a bass drum and snare drum being played on 1 2 3 4 1. You can use the right symbol if you wanted to. And then we come in with this drum fill on beat 3, 3 E and a 4 E and a. Starts with a tom. You could use the floor tom instead if you wanted to. 3 E and a 4 E and a. So 8 notes. And we're back in with chorus 2. So probably easier if I just play this up to speed for you, and you can loop it around as many times as you like. So back to page 1, I'll start from the build-up of the snare drum, and then the whole of verse 1 onto page 2, up to speed. Here we go. So chorus 2 is exactly the same as chorus 1. We have the same 2 lines being replayed for lines 1 and 2 as well as 3 and 4. We have the and a 1 drum fill at the end, and also the and 4 and a drum fill. But this time, coming out of chorus 2 into bridge 2, we do get a bass drum falling on beat 1. 1 2 3 and 4 and a 1. So you could do that in bridge 1 as well if you wanted to, but there is none. But on bridge 2 you do hear like a bass drum effect. 1 2 3 and 4 and a 1. And a 1. It's not and a 1, but you could if you wanted to. Then we get the same, bridge 2, we get the same 2-bar build-up of snare drums. Ending on the last 16th note, we go into the guitar solo next, or the vocal part where she's doing harmonies. And we get this very quick 2-beat break before the drums come back in. 1 2. And the drums come in halfway through the bar where that part of the 2-bar drum beat would be played, if that makes sense. So you're coming in, basically you're just skipping over beat 1 and 2, literally, and coming in where the drum part starts on beat 3. 1 2 3 and 4 and 1 2 3 and 4 and a 1. This time though, we get the and a 1 occurring every 2 bars. So it's the same 2 bars being played for both lines. Bars 3 and 4, for example, this is the 2-bar pattern. 1 2 3 and 4 and 1 2 3 and 4 and a 1 2 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 4 and a 1 2 3 and 4 and 1 2 3 and 4 and a 1. So that gets played there. Then we go into bridge 3 part 1. Again, this is interpretation. We get some electronic snare drum effects occurring. But if you want to sort of maintain the pulse on the hi-hat, I think that's more important than trying to play some left-hand snare drums at the same time. You could interpret that in your own way, but I thought this was more important for the song. because it's more about the vocals, this part. We're just basically playing eighth notes on the hi-hat, but accenting every beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice again, going from the guitar solo into bridge 3 part 1, there's no bass drum on beat 1, it goes straight to the hi-hats. You could accidentally play a bass drum on beat 1 with the first hi-hat, absolutely fine, but on the recording there is none. Every 4 bars of that, there's an open hi-hat, so bar 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2, 3, 4. Same for bar 8, it's an 8-bar line. Then with the open hi-hat ending, 1 and 2, we go into the ride cymbal, playing exactly the same pattern as the hi-hat part, but up here on the ride cymbal. Obviously no open hi-hats here. And then we go into chorus 3. Before we do though, let me now play for you, starting from the snare drum build up in bridge 2, I'll play the whole of the guitar solo and bridges 3, part 1 and 2, up to speed. Here we go. So for chorus 3, it's just 8 bars of whatever it was, I forget now, but there's no drums. We come in with the final chorus on the next line of chorus 3, where we've got our 2-bar pattern occurring again. For the first 2 bars, it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. But at the end of the 4th bar, we get the and a 1 drum fill, not and 4 and a. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and a 1. It's like we're playing the 2nd bar of the 2-bar groove, but we're ending it with and a, not the bass drum on the and a 4. So bars 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 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 1. On to the next line, 2 more bars of groove. The 4th bar there is 1, 2, 3, and 4 re-ander. And again, ending on the upbeat, 4 re-ander, no bass drum on beat 1 of the final bridge 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 re-ander, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how the song ends, with that build up there over 2 bars again. So before we finish, let me now play for you, starting from the 2nd line of chorus 3, all the way to the end of the song. Here we go. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson and hope you enjoyed my interpretation of it. You might find that you want to play it differently. Like I said, the live drummer plays it differently to the recording, so there's interpretation there, but I've gone for the actual recording here. Don't forget to download all 3 pages of the PDF from my website. Again, the link is beneath this video. Make your song suggestions over on YouTube on the community tab or the Facebook page. Again, links for those beneath the video. And while you're at my website, you might want to consider signing up to become an online member. And what I currently offer for £97 is a full year's online access to every single full video song lesson I've ever recorded and transcribed. And that's over 550 full song lessons where I teach you famous and popular songs just like this lesson. You get the fully transcribed PDF drum chart. And like I say, over 550 up on the website already. As a thank you for signing up, I give you access to hundreds more little videos teaching you many, many famous drum beats, fills, and even drum solos. I give you 3 ebooks I've written over the years containing hundreds more famous beats, fills, and solos. And then over the year of your subscription, you also gain instant online access to all the new material that I upload for my members. And I record new lessons every week unless I'm ill or on holiday, so you've got lots of cool stuff to look forward to over the year of your subscription. But if you've got any questions about any of that, then feel free to email me, rob@drumstheword.com. And until our next drum lesson together, toodle pip, and happy drumming to you.